BlueLock, episode 36, Flowers. Who's about to bloom? Let's talk about it. All right, welcome back, Geek Variant. So today we are talking about BlueLock, episode 36. So the thing about this one, Flowers, is we're getting Aiku's backstory, which is something we've been waiting on for a while. More or less, how did he kind of become the defender that he is? And basically got down to he got bored with being a striker. Like he wasn't having any fun. He wasn't really getting into it. He's like, I need to do something. You're trying to produce all these strikers and all this stuff. I need to be something different. And eventually he's just like, yo, I'm going to stop all the strikers that you're creating. And that's kind of his backstory in a nutshell. It ain't too crazy. It ain't too complicated. He's like, yo, I just want to be better and have fun. And he had more fun doing that than anything else. So that was fantastic to see because, again, it's a simple, straight shot reason. This is what I want to do. Now, with him wanting to be a defender, of course, he has to find somebody he's in sync with, which that's kind of why you see his relationship with, was it Sendao? He's got that solid relationship with him. He wants to help him succeed by being a defender. So it's a nice little yin and yang kind of effect with them. But as we get going, we already see that everybody's been going in. It's time for them to put on their quick counter. So U20 is back in the game. They're trying to get what their moves called a quick counter, and it's one of their specialties. You see Tabito kind of focusing on Sei. You see Bakura focusing on Kitsune. Jubei focusing on Kento. Ryo is focused on Shido. And Gagamaru is back at the goal, getting ready to do whatever he's got to do. And it sets up a good thing because they are going shot for shot, like trying to counter the other person's moves, whatever their abilities are. Everybody started learning what it is they do. In the process of this, Gagamaru is trying to get a read on everybody, and eventually the ball gets sent to Shido, which is what's expected. Like, again, they're trying to let the demon boy fly, do whatever he needs to do. And Sei is going to keep setting him up to do what he does. And he eventually gets a good read on the ball, and he's getting ready to take his shot, like fantastically getting ready to take his shot. Knocks one out, and then Gagamaru's got to make a choice. He's like, he can only go one or two spots, top or bottom. And again, with Gagamaru on goal, so it's going to be to his left, top or bottom. He's got to pick block one. He goes bottom. So he's like, I got to go with my gut, got to go with this. Makes the dive, and he goes top. And you're like, dang it, that's they're about to take their lead up another notch here in a second. But then Gagamaru does something called a Sachiko fish kick, like literally kind of like a scorpion tail. I think he whips his foot up there and he's able to block that ball. And I was like, okay, Gagamaru, he's in there. And it's kind of how I see more how Gagamaru's kind of setting up to be similar to Aiku, like being goalie just may be his thing. Like it may not be striker for him. Again, it's being goalie and able to come up with whatever he needs to stop the ball. And he's been proven to be pretty solid at minus the 3 goals, but he's been on point as far as some cool moves. So once he does it, he calls for a clear. He's like, we need to get it clear it to the corner so that we can kind of set up to do whatever we got to do. Ryo is the one who's right there because he was trying to stop Shido and he wasn't able to. So when he gets down to it, he's like, okay, no. He straight up was like, no, I am not going to clear it to the corner how you're expecting me to do. He literally uses his chameleon ability and he copies, because remember, he can copy anybody. He copies Nagi. And there's a full-on kill it, lift tap to kind of pop the thing back up there, and then immediately goes into copy on Sei Toshi and does that jumping turn and clears the ball back towards the other goal. Like, fantastic. I didn't expect him to do all that. I'm loving it. So basically, clears it back towards the goal, which allows them to get into position to attack. So now it's literally counter to counter. So whatever their counter was, it got countered into another attack. So now U20 needs to counter this because if not, goal is coming. So in the process of that, we see that Barrow is still focused on Isagi. Like he wants to get Isagi freaking, devoured. Like that's the whole thing. Nagi grabs the clear and sets up to get it to Isagi. And of course, Barrow is right there and is just like, yo, I'm coming. My whole goal is just to devour you. Like I'm not doing nothing else but devouring you. Like you're my primary, purpose. So as we're going through this, Isagi starts getting a read on things. And he's like, I got to figure out what conditions need to be met so I get this. Because remember, Aiku is watching him. He's like, you little thief. Like I'm keeping a freaking, keeping a leash on you. He's not letting him go at all. So for him to freaking get the goal scored, Isagi has to do these three things. He's to find a spot he can, score a goal with his direct shot. That's his move. That's his best thing to do. Direct shot. He needs to get a combo to get the ball there. If he can't get a combo that makes sense to get the ball there, because again, if he puts all the pieces together, then it's not going to work for him. He plays better off of people to get his combos to set up for his direct shot. And the last thing he needs is to stopping Aiku from getting a read on the combo. Because if Aiku gets a read on it, he's shutting it down. That's his thing. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what Aiku does. So everything was looking good, fantastic. And he was setting up. And he's like, okay, I just got to get a touch on it. And then out of nowhere, here comes Sayatoshi. He's like, yo, I've been watching the whole time. He took the most direct route straight to Isagi to shut him down. And now they're kind of going neck and neck, and they're kind of wrestling for the ball. He feels like his pieces are slipping, but he ends up having ego kind of pop in his head and explain some things like, hey, strikers go to the very last second. Like there is no slowing down. There is a stopping. Like you got to push. That's kind of what he's got in his head. So he's pushing and he's going up with says like, I got to get this stuff done. I'm going to set up. I just got to get to the ball first. I can do everything. And while he's doing this, he's so focused. And then Say pushes him. It's a very light push too. He pushes him to where he's off balance. So you see his more or less his reticle as he's getting ready to fire a shot start going off because he can't get focused back onto it because he was not expecting Say to push him, which I'm kind of like this soccer, like football. Like people are gonna be pushing and shoving. They're pushing and shoving the whole way up, but he got enough of a push on him to throw off his direct shot. And when you think that, okay, that's it, freaking, he's falling apart again, Ren appears because Ren never stopped advancing the entire time. Of course, he wants to counter Say as best he can. So he shows up and it's like quick passes and it's trying to get basically Isagi set back up. Like he believes in Isagi and what Isagi's trying to do. So he's focused on being that asset. Remember, they've been attached to each other since the beginning of the game. And when Isagi finally gets a chance, like balls getting passed for Isagi to get his chance to get his shot, out of left field comes Barrow. This man comes in, slinks in, and nails a shot straight into the goal. Perfect. Scores, takes off his shirt, runs around. He's like, yes, I did it. He throws somebody like, get off me. Like, I'm on it. My whole goal is to devour you. Like he stole the shot and it was absolutely fantastic how he stole that shot. So of course, Barrow ends up explaining how he got the shot. And Isagi doesn't seem like he's mad. He's like, wow, like what happened? Like you did great. And he's like, yeah, well, I waited in the shadows. Like I waited in the darkness. He keeps talking about using Isagi's light to find his darkness. All this stuff. So he waited in the darkness and watched everything. And the thing is, he was watching not only Isagi, he was watching Ren. And because of watching Ren and Isagi, he says essentially are one because of how they've been moving together the entire time. So it was like, I just need to get a read on you because you both are one. You both are doing the same things and like kind of meshing very well. So if I just keep an eye on at least one of you, I can get a read on everything and stalk from the shadows. And he's able to stalk and bam, run through that and get the freaking goal. I was like, that's devious. Barrow has been on one. I'm enjoying every second of it. So with that being said, Barrow ends up getting a yellow card because he took his shirt off during play, which is ungentlemanly conduct. So he's yellow carded, which means, again, he does one more thing. He's out the game. And I think we got like 2 episodes left, so anything can happen. But in the process of this, Asagi starts to figure out what his final puzzle piece is to bring everything together. And it's revealed that it's trance. You got to trust in someone's trance and be willing to go with it to get the job done. And that's the thing. Having those moments where it's like everybody's kind of in their flow and their things with that, and they get in that zone, they get in the trance. That's what's going to help, propel this team forward and, possibly get the win. So that's kind of what he's focused on there. We see Sendao and Aiku share a moment, and this is where you kind of get the flowers kind of reference because he's always wanted to bloom and do his own thing. But now that he's doing so well as a defender, he wants to help his striker bloom. And he's trying to really get Sendao to really come into his own. That's one of the reasons why he's so loyal to him. He's trying to help him bloom and be a better striker. And he can do that by being a better defender and making sure that, they get the ball back and do stuff. And I think it's great. Again, he has, having that moment with his partner, and it's just like, cool, this is what we're going to do. While on the other end, we see freaking Say, he's kind of like salty. He's like talking to the manager. He's like, you got a plan? And he's like, whatever plan you just came up with was stupid because anybody can come up with that. Like, that's not good enough. Like, you are completely unoriginal. Just completely shuts him down. Like, you are unoriginal. I don't care. So that was funny because he's completely dismissive, which kind of lets me know maybe they're breaking down just a little bit. I don't think not fully, but he's like, I can't trust the management. Like, I'm just going to do whatever it is that I want to do. And that's kind of how it is. Like, when you're on the field, coaches, managers can call shots, but you're going to make whatever adjustments you're going to make on the field to get stuff done. And that's kind of what Ren is sitting there looking at too, because he's like, this is my story. I will score. I will get this stuff done. And that's how the episode closes out. It was like, I will get this done. This is my story. I will beat Say. So it's getting hot and stuff. Again, the score is now even. I think it's 3-3. Don't know how they're going to come back with this. I don't know what they're going to do to get these next goals scored. We got, I think, about 2 episodes left, I believe. So they should finish up right into the new year, and we'll see what happens with U20 versus BlueLock. Hey, I appreciate you guys joining. Make sure you hit the like or subscribe button. I think that BlueLock is going to fall short. I don't want them to, but I think that they're going to fall short. And again, the other teams are going to allow for them to kind of pick up players and stuff like that and allow them to develop themselves. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is that they win, and what happens is they're going to go and continue to develop themselves in other teams, but freaking win the World Cup comes around, which possibly be another movie. If they run the U20 team, then they'll, the main team will come back together. So to bring however many players from BlueLock, because they got substitutions, so probably like 15 players from BlueLock, plus they'll probably pick at least 5 from the U20 to maybe stay on and work as a team. Because I could imagine if you pick Aiku and put him on a team with Gagamaru, that'll elevate Gagamaru a lot. So we got options here. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. I will see you guys in the next one.